Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of JavaScript learning. In this episode, we have to learn about what is const and let and where, how we can use these variables. We can also see the practical mode. In the previous video, we have learned about each and every concept through paste and copy method, and we can also see the definition. Now we can learn about how we can implement in our code, how we can write our first code in JavaScript. So let us start. Create a file first.js. If you create a JavaScript file, if you create a Python, we can simply write py. If you write Java, then the Java extension should be activated. So first we can go with JavaScript. So we can simply write first.js to JavaScript code, and also you can install some of the plugins that will help you to write a code. So you can see the extension part. You can click on here and just search JavaScript. Okay, like I can write the wrong spelling, but we can go with this JavaScript ES6 code snippet. You can simply install it and auto update. एंड यू कैन आल्सो बैबल को आप इंस्टॉल कर सकते हो, या जावास्क्रिप्ट टाइप स्क्रिप्ट को आप कोई भी स्निपेट जो आपको अच्छा लग रहा है आप उसे इंस्टॉल कर सकते हो. ये क्या करता है, ये हमारे कोड में सजेशन देने में हेल्प करता है, तो हमें पूरा कोड खुद से नहीं लिखना पड़ता है. कुछ टाइम के बाद आपको कोड लिखने की आदत हो जाएगी तो आपको इसकी ज़रूरत नहीं हो सकती है. सबसे पहले हमने पढ़ा था स्कोप क्या होता है. तो स्कोप तीन तरह का होता है, कॉन्स्ट, लेट एंड वेयर. सबसे पहले हम कॉन्स्ट पढ़ते हैं. कॉन्स्ट नम इक्वल टू 10. ठीक है, हम नम में 10 स्टोर करते हैं. वी कैन सिंपली डू कंसोल डॉट लॉग राइट नम, and we can try to print this. So how we can print this, so I will teach you. You can simply write node then first dot js, and you can successfully see the output 10. So one thing you should remember, you should inside your YouTube JS teaching folder, if you create any other folder, the folder name should be similar to here. If it is not similar, then it will throw an error. The file should not be found by JavaScript compiler, a Node.js compiler. So the second thing we have learned about, we cannot update the constant value. We can try to update the constant value. Let's see what happens. So we can save it our code with control s, and we can simply write again node first dot js and write enter, and we can see the some error of it. So first we can see the output of 10 should be printed, and then we can get an error in num part 20 while we try to update the value. Type error assignment to constant variable. क्या हुआ कि हम असाइन करना चाहते हैं एक कांस्टेंट वेरिएबल के अंदर, ये जावास्क्रिप्ट हमें अलाउ नहीं करता है. That's why we have see this kind of error. So we can see first this line should be printed. So JavaScript run one by one. So JavaScript is an interpret runtime language. So what happens, the our call stack memory first see the num variable and it will store the 10, and then we can simply print this console.log num. So we can print the num variable, and then we can see the num equal to 20. So at the line number 4, JavaScript throw an error before it can execute properly, and you can also see that the first.js 4 in line number 4 we can get the error. Now we can update, now we can get the comment this part of code, and now we can go with let variable. So you can simply comment by using double backslash two times. If you are using two times backslash, then you can comment your code, and this comment is not read by JavaScript extension. So it is useful when you write a very big code. At that time any new developer will come or join your team, so it can easily understand. And whenever you can come back in your own code, at that time you can also understand your code very easily. Now we can go to let num equal to 10, and now we can try to print it console.log, and then we can simply do num. Let's see what happens. So first we can clear the terminal, then we can write node first.js. We can get the output 10. If you want to update this value 100, and then we can try this node first console.js, we can see the 100. For what happens when we try to update this variable num equal to 200? Okay. According to let keyword, we can easily update any variable. Only const variable should not be updated in JavaScript. So now we can see what happens while using this let variable, let scope in JavaScript, let node first.js, and we can successfully see that the num variable should be updated and the value should be 200. We can also store any kind of value. I will teach you. So we can store const name equal to Susant. Okay, const age equal to 21. Const each teacher may be true. So we can store true boolean value. So we can store any kind of value. In let keyword also we can store any kind of value, like name2 equal to किसी का भी नाम ले सकते हैं, जैसे हम नाम ले लेते हैं अभिषेक. ठीक है, ठीक है. लेट एज इक्वल टू 23. लेट each यूट्यूबर yes. So we can store true value. So here you can see the error. So I will teach you in JavaScript, if the variable is already declared, the name variable is already declared, then you can't redeclare again with the same variable name. So here the age should be declared, so you can't declare the age here also. But if you using these two curly braces, then you can declare the age. There is no error, the error should be gone. But at that time what we can change the variable name, so we can see that the error should be gone. Then what happen if we want to update this value? If what happen when we try to print this value, sorry, name console.log age, and then console.log age teacher. So and if you simply print that, the output should be Susan 21 and true. And similar for let keyword. So console.log name 2. Okay, then console.log age 1. So console.log age YouTuber. Then we see that what happens if we print this. So we can see that Abhishek 23 true. If we go with where keyword, like where fruits equal to mango, and then where old is old false phrase है, where price equal to 100 rupees. Okay, now we can print it console.log fruits. Then we can simply do console.log is old, and then console.log price. Then what outputs come? It node first.js. Then you can see the mango false and true. If we want to update the price, like we can do price equal to 200 now. Now we can print the updated value of price. Let's see what happened. So at that time we can use node first.js. Then we can also see the updated value 200. But I will teach you one thing also in this where keyword. If we want to redeclare the same variable again, you should do it. There is no error occurred. So if we want to do where is old equal to true, and then we want to print is old, then see what happens. If we can try this thing in let and const keyword with const keyword, then we get an error. But if we try this thing in where keyword, you can successfully see the latest value output that is true. So what happens in JavaScript, while using this where keyword, you should also redeclare the same variable again and again. This is the one of the biggest mistake created by the JavaScript developer. So later on it can solve this, and that's why we can't use where keyword. So now we can know what kind of value we can store. So how we can check that? So we can simply do console.log. Okay, what operator we can run? Type of what? Type of name का देखना है, name to. Then we can see the चलो हम लोग लास्ट वन का ही देखते हैं, ये फ्रूट्स वैर वाले का, क्योंकि फिर थोड़ा वो हो जाता है कोड, फिर आप लोग को भी समझने में दिक्कत होगा, बहुत सारे आउटपुट आएंगे. तो फ्रूट्स इज ओल्ड एंड प्राइस. सो वी कैन प्रिंट द टाइप ऑफ फ्रूट्स console dot log type of is old, and then console dot log type of price. Okay, then we can simply clear the terminal, and also we can print one line, so separate the code. Okay, so we can do 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, and this is not an important thing, guys. You should not do it if you don't want. I will teach you, that's why I will create this kind of thing. So note, file name should be first, then we can use dot operator, then we can use js for extension. So we can see that the fruits we can store, this should be a string, so we can get the string. A boolean is old, we can store a true value, that's why false value, that's why we can boolean. And then price number, if we store the price is 100.22 float value, then what happens? We can see that in JavaScript there is only one number type variable should be happen. So we can see that the output should be number type. Okay, so what in JavaScript we can only store a number, a string, null, undefined type of variable. If in JavaScript we can't store a float variable, long variable, etc. In JavaScript you can also store big int. If we use 23, and then what happen? Now we can see it. So you can see it can also a number, but why number we can learn about if you use n after the variable declaration. So we can get the, okay, we can declare age here, but we want to declare in a price, so we can declare here. So after point we can't declare the 100, and now we want to print, then the number should be changed to big int, so we can successfully change that the number should be changes into a big int. So और हमने क्या क्या थ्योरी पार्ट में पढ़ा था, टाइप ऑफ से हमने स्ट्रिंग का देख लिया कि हम कांस्टेंट वैल्यू को कभी भी अपडेट नहीं कर सकते हैं. देन हमने ये सीखा कि हम कभी भी लेट कीवर्ड का यूज करते हैं तो हम वैल्यू को अपडेट कर सकते हैं. देन हमने ये देखा कैसे वेरिएबल को डिक्लेयर किया जाता है, किस तरह के वेरिएबल को. देन हमने टाइप ऑफ देखा, अगर टाइप ऑफ देखा So in this video we have to see that how we can add a extra symbol or text before printing the any variable. So we can simply do console.log. Then if we writing any kind of a string, just use double apostrophe and write anything the fruit name is. Then if you want an space, just click on a space button, and then after the double apostrophe use comma, and then you can write this variable names. Like I can write fruits, then we can simply do save, and then clear our terminal and write node. Then file name should be first, that extension .js. After clicking on this we get an error. So first we can see what error is coming. So internal node first. So the spelling should be wrong here. So this kind of thing you should aware while using JavaScript, while learning JavaScript. Then we can simply do first .js and print enter, and then you can see that the a string added before printing the mango. The fruit name is mango. Then what we learned else? So apart from this we have learned that double equal to and triple equal to in JavaScript. What are the use cases? So definition I will already tell you in PPT as well as in pen and copy method. So now in this video we have seen the difference. So console.log, if we simply do console.log and 2 equal to 2, and then we can get another console.log 2 equal to 2. In the first console.log we have used a double equal to, and in second console we have used triple equal to. So according to the PPT and what we learned here, the output should be true because JavaScript doesn't check strictly is this two, while the second console.log in this JavaScript also check the current variable that is coming is a string or not. If it is a string and the first is variable, then it will simply return false. After this we have simply do clear the console first and then node, then the file name should be first.js, enter. We can see that the true and the false. if you are confusing, अगर यहाँ पर अगर आपको कन्फ्यूजन हो रहा है तो मैं अपना पुराना कोड को आप कमेंट आउट कर सकते हो. आप सारे कोड को एक बार में सेलेक्ट करना, फिर इसके बाद कंट्रोल अब बैक स्लैश करोगे तो हो जाएगा. अगर आप मैक यूजर हो तो कमांड बैक स्लैश करना, सारा कोड कमेंट आउट हो जाएगा, तो आपको बार बार करने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. देन वी कैन सिंपली क्लियर आवर टर्मिनल एंड देन नोट फर्स्ट डॉट js. We can see the true and false, 2 equal to 2, here the true and here false. So we can learn and we can also understand this thing. Then we can see in the second variable, in the second we can create another file that is a scope in Java, scope.js. So in scope.js we can understand about, first we can declare any variable with let keyword. So we can declare let num equal to 10, and then we can declare another variable let num2 equal to 20, and the first variable name should be changed to num1. And after this in the block we can simply try to print the value let num3 equal to num1 plus num2. Okay, and then we can simply do console.log num3. Okay, and after this block scope we can understand anything that is declared inside these two parentheses, it is called as block scope. So after these two parentheses we can try to console.log num3. Now we can see what happened. if we can try to console.log num1 and num2 after these two curly braces num1 and console.log num2. Okay, always use semicolon after completing your line, and then first we can increase our space of terminal, and then we can clear the terminal and write note the file name should be a scope.js. enter. So we get an error, but first, after getting an error, first we can see the output. Let num3 equal to num1 plus num2. So here the output should be 20 plus 30. Then we can try to print num1 value should be 10 here, and num2 value is 20. Both the values should be printed. Then we can get a console.log num3 error. Num3 is declared inside this variable, that's why we can get an error. So what kind of error? Num3 is not defined. I already tell you guys, if you declare anything inside these two curly braces, if you try to access outside these two curly braces, we can get that the variable should not be defined. So if you are using const keyword here, so also get a same error like const, and then you can try to note file name should be scope.js. You can get the same error, console.log num3 not defined. But what we can learn that the var keyword is globally and functionally variable. So if we declare var keyword inside the block scope, it can be also accessible outside this block scope. So now we can see that what happens. So node scope.js, we can see the output 30. So that is the major difference between let const and var. I can already teach you, and also in the first video of practical session also. So we can't update the const value, num value should be updated, and let and const both should be a block scope variable, while the var keyword should be a functionally and globally scope variable. Okay, now we can see that functions. If you declare function with function keyword, always define function with a function keyword in JavaScript, then function name should be print. Then we can simply क्या कर रहे हैं, हम प्रिंट करने का ट्राई करते हैं कुछ भी अगर इस फंक्शन को कॉल करने के लिए console.log hello world. Okay, then we can define two variables. Let a equal to 1, let b equal to 2. Okay, if we do console.log here a plus b, and calling this function print function print. If we call this function, first we can comment out our previous code. So we can simply do control and select all the text, all the code, and then we can use backslash, control backslash, and command backslash. So if we declare a function, the name of the function should be changed like print hello world. Then we call print hello world here, print hello world. Then we can save this file and clear the terminal first, and then we can write node scope.js. Then we can see the output hello world and 3. But what happens, we can try to access outside after calling this function call, we can try to access console.log a. We get an error, or we can access that value. According to the concept, we can get an error. So successfully you can see that we can get an error, a should not be defined. It is similar for const also. If we declare with const keyword and we can try to access, we can also get an error. So we can clear our terminals so you can see clearly node scope.js. Then we can see that a is not defined. So हमने where का definition क्या पढ़ा था, where is a functionally and globally scope variable. So according to where keyword only be accessible outside these two curly. Inside we can declare with these two curly braces. If we declare inside the function variable also, we cannot access the where keyword outside this function. So if we try to print this node scope.js, so you can see that the error will also coming a not defined. So we can get a similar error because where is a functionally and globally scope variable. तो where का जो एक्सेस होता है फंक्शनली इसी के अंदर रहता है, अगर हम फंक्शन के अंदर डिफाइन कर देते हैं तो। इसके अलावा हमने क्या पढ़ा था फर्स्ट में, हमने देख लिया। अब हम इसमें देख लेते हैं कि हम स्ट्रिंग वगैरह को कैसे डिक्लेयर करते हैं। सो हमने ये पहले ही देख लिया स्ट्रिंग का, तो अभी हम देखेंगे हम नल को कैसे इनिशियलाइज करते हैं। तो नल को हम हमेशा लेट या वैर कीवर्ड में ही इनिशियलाइज कर सकते हैं, ठीक है, बिकॉज वी कांट अपडेट द कॉन्स्ट वैल्यू। सो इफ़ वी कैन डिक्लेयर लेट नेम इज, then we can first declare null. So after this we can try to print console.log name is, so we can get an null value. So if we try to clear and then node scope.js, then we can see the null value. But if we update this name is equal to subscribe, okay, then we can save and then we can try to print node scope.js subscribe, so we can update the value. But if we are using const keyword, so what happens we can see it. So we can get the null value also, but when we try to update the const variable, we get an error in the previous code. So in this code what happens, node scope.js, so we can get a similar error, we can't update the constant variable. So that's all for today. Any topics should be left, I could not remember it. So we can also see the begin, undefined, and what is functionally and globally scope in the